So now I have a different angle so you can see me desensitizing Atlas to the rope here a little bit better, a little bit closer up. So here he's just targeting the rope, so it's just kind of halved over, and he can touch it, and then when he does touch it, it moves a little bit, so he's getting rewarded for that, so he's not seeing it in a scary way. So again, yeah, I moved the rope too fast there. I just like in the last video when I was working on the rope, I probably need to pull it a couple inches and then click while it's moving and then stop instead of pulling it all the way out. And then especially that end is kind of coming up and hitting him in the face. I needed to be really careful with that. I'm really lucky there that he's staying because he's like moving his face out of the way, but it's like worrying him a little bit. So I needed to take smaller steps to get to the point where that's coming up. Yeah, I need to be careful with that. There, that was better. But I probably could have used a different rope as well because this one's really stiff. And it makes that end when the tail end of the rope comes over like swing a bit more versus one that's a little bit more loose. It would just kind of slide up over the bars. There, that was better. But yeah, overall, I should have just gone slower. So a few inches as that rope's coming up, click and feed, and then do that a little bit more until I can pull part of the rope, half the rope, the whole rope over, that kind of a thing. He's pretty cool with me tossing the rope over. It's just that sliding movement that he's kind of worried about. So, but he can target it, and I'm just going to reinforce him for that and then for the rope moving as well. There, that was good. So he looks pretty relaxed, even though it did kind of hit him in the face a little bit. So I do need to be really careful with that, but he does look really good. Because the rope's gonna move, the rope's gonna slide, the rope's gonna fall down, and I want him to be cool with all of those things happening. So just rope moves equals food. That's what I'm looking for here. Just like everything else, I'm just conditioning that to be something positive. Rope's moving, food's gonna happen. Versus normally rope moving scary, like it's chasing me. Um, Stuff like that. That's not the pairing that I want. I want a positive pairing. They see that happening and they're like, oh, okay, cool, maybe I'll get food. So that's really my goal here. It looks really nice when it swings over. Again, as I'm swinging it over, I'm clicking and then feeding. So that looks perfect. And then slide it off a little bit. That was better. That was a better speed that I should have been doing to begin with and really building up to the point where he's totally cool with it. So, but this looks really nice and this is a much better angle for everyone to see from. And then we're going to be working a little bit more on trailer loading. So last time, I think was the last time he got both front feet on. So this time you'll see he goes in much faster. So at the end of the last lesson, I did a big jackpot for him putting both front feet in. So he definitely remembered that. And now he wants to offer that behavior again. And that's where the benefit of the jackpots comes in. He's like, oh, I remember when I got tons of food and it was great. I just have to do that same behavior again. So I have to be really careful. I need to reinforce behaviors that are really close to it. But if I find one that's very, very close, I need to reinforce that highly. So I'm just starting off by putting a little bit of hay pellets on the floor here just to get him comfortable, remind him like great things happen in the trailer. Just especially now in the beginning stages, I want him cool with coming to the trailer, having the door open, all the sounds, all that stuff. So that's all really important for him to get used to. I want him to think, oh, that door opens and food's right there. And then immediately he goes right into the trailer. So this is perfect. He's remembering that behavior of going halfway into the trailer gets highly reinforced and he's doing it again. He's offering it again. And he stepped in and backed out really softly. So that looks very nice. Then he's going to try it again. So he's like, oh, I'm all in. And then that time he kind of slid out a little bit. He ended up kind of shifting like over a little bit closer to me. So I'm going to feed him a little bit further away. He maybe got a little bit more worried that time. But again, I'm not going to worry about that. I'm just going to reinforce the behavior that I did like here. So I'm going to put some more food on the ground here and then just let him munch on that. And then again, he's offering that behavior on his own, which is very, very nice. Like you saw in the last video, I was using the target and trying to get him to get into the trailer. Now he's offering it because it's been highly reinforced. So that's super important, especially with like behaviors that need a little bit more motivation, especially like trailer loading. Those tries in the right direction need to be highly rewarded. So he has that motivation to want to go in there. Most of the time when you're trailer loading, that motivation with negative reinforcement is everywhere outside of the trailer is not fun. You get a break inside the trailer. So there's pressure, pressure, pressure all around the outside of the trailer. There's no pressure in the trailer. What I'm doing is there's wonderful, great things inside the trailer. Outside the trailer is fine. but there's great, great things in the trailer. That's what I'm trying to tell Atlas at this point. So again, giving him good jackpots for those behaviors that are really going toward what we like. So in this case, bringing those front feet in, getting closer to the inside of the trailer, and then using a higher value reinforcer as well. But I don't want to make him feel like he's has to get in there either. So like at this point, he doesn't seem worried about it. But some horses will go in just for the food, but they feel conflicted. At that point, I would try to recognize those behaviors if they're looking tight, tense, anything like that, and just kind of build it up a little bit slower. So maybe just approaching the trailer, 1 foot, 2 foot, that kind of thing, reinforcing him for being on the outside, and just kind of slowing it down, because some will, especially if you have a really high value reinforcer, so carrots or something, they'll be like, well, I'll do anything for the carrots. But I don't want the horse to be conflicted in going in the trailer or doing any other behavior. I want them to be doing it relaxed. So paying attention to the body language is really important. Atlas at this point does not seem like he's conflicted at all. He definitely looks more relaxed than he did in the last session. Because he's offering this behavior. In the last session, he was not. As soon as he runs out of food, he's kind of going in. He doesn't look tight. He's just kind of up and in. But now at this point, I got to be careful of not making a behavior chain of him just going in and coming out and getting food. I want him to start going in and staying in. So that's going to be the next part of this that I probably didn't do a great job of in the beginning. See, now he really wants to go in there on his own. So this is a good sign, is that he's going in and then he's going on his own, even though I've asked him to do something else. I'm not going to punish him. I'm not going to do anything. I like that he wants to go in there. That's the behavior I want, but I am going to reinforce him coming away from the trailer. So I probably should have not walked away quite as far so that he'd come follow me, but he does. I wanted to show this where he does want to go in there. He's like, okay, well, look at me. I can do this behavior. Look at and then he backs out. So, but that's great. This is completely night and day from how I used to trailer load. So doing it this way makes everybody so much happier. The horses are happier and I'm happier. So, but I should probably not let him just do this on his own, because I don't want him to, get in the trailer all the way and then scare himself or something like that. I should have just had him come with me and reinforce him for following me, but it's good that he wants to go in.